Teachers and students deserve school environments that are safe, supportive, and conducive to teaching and learning. Creating and maintaining this supportive climate requires both teachers and students to follow rules. Unfortunately, some refuse, and the resulting behavior ends in suspension or expulsion. This set of slides will look into student discipline in our schools and review the impact and legal boundaries of suspension and expulsion. First, let's take a look at why students are expelled. NRS 462 lists the reasons for expulsion as assault, battery on a school employee, stealing, vandalizing, arson, immoral conduct, possessing a weapon, possessing or using drugs, and engaging in criminal activity. Expulsions for any of these requires due process. In 1975, the Supreme Court reviewed the case of Goss v. Lopez. This case stands for the basic principle that a due process hearing is required if a student is facing a long-term suspension of 10 days or more, or expulsion. 9 students at 2 high schools and 1 junior high school in Columbus, Ohio, were given 10-day suspensions from school. The school principals did not hold hearings for the affected students before ordering the suspensions, and the Ohio law did not require them to do so. The principals' actions were challenged, and the Supreme Court on appeal held that the students' rights had been violated. Ohio was constrained to recognize students' entitlements to education as property interests protected by the Due Process Clause that could not be taken away without minimum procedures required by the clause. The court found that students facing suspension should at a minimum be given notice and afforded some kind of hearing with an explanation of the evidence. Procedural due process currently mandates that a student receive written notice of the charges, full and fair hearing, right to counsel, right to be fully apprised of proof of evidence, opportunity to present witnesses, opportunity to cross-examine, some type of written record of decision based on evidence. Expulsions and suspensions. Although guided by state law, local school boards are granted considerable latitude in establishing and interpreting their own disciplinary rules and regulations for expulsions and suspensions. In the case of suspension, minimal due process is required for suspended students with the restriction that the suspension cannot last more than 10 days without a hearing. Suspension impacts everyone. In 2011-12, a study by the U.S. Department of Education Civil Rights Organization found that out of the 49 million students enrolled in public schools in that year, 3.45 million were suspended out of school. 3.5 million students were suspended in school, and 130,000 students were expelled. The study found that students with disabilities and students of color are generally suspended and expelled at higher rates than their peers. In Nevada, the numbers were 5% without disabilities versus 18% with disabilities. Of the school districts with children participating in the preschool programs, 6% reported suspending out of school at least one preschool child. Suspensions have negative consequences. Suspensions are associated with negative student outcomes such as lower academic performance, higher rates of dropout, failures to graduate on time, decreased academic engagement, and future disciplinary exclusion. Suspensions don't work for schools, teachers, or students. Evidence does not show that discipline practices that remove students from instruction, those such as suspensions and expulsions, help to improve either student behavior or school climate. What does work? Desert Oasis High School began an in-school program called Door to Success in the 2015-16 school year. Instead of being suspended, students are being reprimanded and kept in a designated classroom most of the day and complete homework. But most importantly, they receive one-on-one counseling sessions with school staff who serve as mentors. They work on areas such as developing ways to deal with anger and peer pressure. There is also an opportunity for those students to attend character building classes through the district's Hope Squared program. More recent Nevada legislation has responded to the public outcry for disciplinary action in bullying cases. Nevada law now mandates that the Nevada Department of Education prescribe a policy for all school districts to provide a safe and respectful learning environment that is free of bullying, cyberbullying, harassment, and intimidation. When it comes to corporal punishment, or spanking as a disciplinary tool, the Supreme Court has decided in Ingraham v. Wright that the use of corporal punishment does not violate the 8th and 14th Amendments regarding cruel and unusual punishment. However, if the state has passed legislation which declares it is impermissible in school, then its use may not conflict with the state law. So what does Nevada law have to say? If you take a look at this map, you will see that Nevada has banned school corporal punishment. The decision was made over 10 years ago in 1993. As you look at this map, you will see the states in red are those which still allow corporal punishment as a disciplinary tool in the schools. New Mexico was the most recent to ban corporal punishment in 2011. How are teachers expected to manage disruptive behavior? There are effective alternatives to suspension. Research shows that there are multi-tiered behavioral frameworks, such as positive behavioral interventions and supports, which can help improve overall school climate and safety. Interventions, school-wide and individual, that use proactive, preventative approaches address the underlying cause or purpose of the behavior and reinforce positive behaviors have been associated with increases in academic engagement, academic achievement, and reductions in suspensions and school dropouts. During the 1999 legislative session, the Nevada legislature passed law designed to give teachers the authority to respond to disciplinary problems. The Student Discipline Bill, as it was called, allows teachers to legally remove chronically disruptive students from the classroom. It mandated that each school should establish a progressive disciplinary plan and post the plan for all students to see. The progressive discipline plan would be a set of steps increasing in severity, which would include a student warning, a phone call home, teacher detention, a parent conference, counselor referral, and dean's referral. Clark County has established and posted on its website a code of conduct and behavior guideline which provides definitions for specific behavior offenses and outlines a series of subsequent disciplinary actions that may occur. The sequence of disciplinary action demonstrates the minimal disciplinary action which may be taken and defines possible additional consequences for each behavior offense. This publication is a sort typically found in New Student Packet for Clark County School students. One last item that we should clarify before closing this discussion is that of discipline in students for conduct off school grounds. The case of O'Rourke versus Walker in 1925 established the policy that, yes, students can be disciplined for conduct off school property if the behavior affected the management of the school and has a negative impact on other pupils, teachers, or students. Quiz yourself with the upcoming questions. Here are some additional resources worth reviewing. And the resources used in this presentation.